All right, so make sure we're straightened up. Okay, what's going on? Howdy, howdy, howdy. All right, guys, how are you? What's going on? Wednesday night, live tasting tequila of the week. I think I might have actually got the YouTube version working this time. Last week, I had a nice hour video of my zebra painting on the back wall over there, so apologies for that. But very good. Looks like we got some people on here. I'm on time for a change. Here we are, Wednesday nights, weekly tradition, live tasting the featured tequila of the week. And we have an interesting one here this week. If you saw the post that went up today, this week's featured tequila of the week is the Clase Azul Ultra Anejo. Was actually a gift from a follower of the page, friend Derek Haddad, who looks like he's on right now. Derek, what's going on? Have to say thank you again. So appreciate the gift. Derek is a big fan of this brand and really wanted to see it spoken about and tasted live on my live tastings. So went ahead and got me a bottle. So here we have Clase Azul Ultra Anejo. See if I can get it out of this wooden display case that it comes in. Right there. I think we're going to get that out of the way for now to make sure we got a little bit of space over there. So, give you guys a closer look. Clase Azul Ultra Anejo, the marquee product, ultra high-end luxury expression from Clase Azul Tequila. It's this week's featured tequila of the week, and this is our weekly hour live tasting slash tequila discussion slash discussion about anything. Gives us an excuse to interact a little bit and taste some tequila, get your opinions. I've got a few other things over here that I'm going to taste tonight to help put some perspective on this one right here. But yeah, there we go. Not a shabby gift at all. Oh, I have to agree. So, thanks for joining in. Again, I can't see my screen, but if anyone's joining on YouTube Live, I've started streaming these at the same time. That way there's a record of these videos that goes up on YouTube that can be watched over and over. Whereas this live video only stays up for 24 hours. So, one more look over there. Clase Azul Ultra Anejo. And let's get into it. So, only need one of those. Get us a pour over here. All right. So, Ultra Anejo, it's aged 5 years. Produced at NOM 1595. Casa Tradizione. Casa Tradicion, NOM 1595. Again, like I said, this is the marquee product for Clase Azul, and it is quite a good looker. If the light's kind of blacking out some of the details on this beautiful decanter that it comes in, go take a look at my post today, like my post today at least, and go take a look. I've got some better quality images with better lighting of this absolutely beautiful decanter, and we'll get to that a little bit later in a little bit. Talk about this this actual bottle that this tequila comes in. But like I said, back to the tequila. Give you guys a look over there. Extremely dark, rich brown spirit. The tequila is produced using only fully mature agave, a 9-year aged minimum. So anyone familiar with agave as well knows as it gets more and more mature and it gets older, it actually gives off even more color and syrup. You can see that right away. Immature agave is going to be almost white when you chop it open. And over mature agave actually almost bleeds this dark red agave juice. So the agave syrup. There we go. Another look at that extremely dark, rich coloring on the Clase Azul. Just wonderful nose. Lot of oak. Like I mentioned earlier on. We were going through the production process. So fully mature agave. It's roller mill crushed. It's then slow cooked for 72 hours. Then roller mill crushed, distilled in copper pots. And then the aging process on this extra añejo, like I mentioned before, 5 years in former sherry casks. So sherry, if for anyone who's not familiar, type of wine from Spain, south of Spain. So 5 years in sherry casks is going to give it a super unique finish on that tequila right there. The result, color-wise, is that. On the nose, we're going to get a lot of oak right away. I could be corrected on this, but I'm pretty sure that sherry casks are made from American oak. So oak, vanilla, caramel, cooked agave. Just getting really rich aromas of caramel, cooked agave, butterscotch. I even get a little bit of fruit. I think I mentioned on my write-up earlier on, pineapple. So just really strong aromas coming off that tequila right there. For those just joining, I'll give you another look. And then, wow. So sipping, it is a really rich, full-bodied, layered taste profile. It is sweet. I get molasses. I get obviously vanilla, caramel, butterscotch, the usual oak, cooked agave, but the cooked agave is definitely not the defining characteristic. It is a wonderful, rich sipping spirit. It's hard to describe, and I said so in my write-up. For those agave enthusiasts, this is not going to be your tequila. The people that like the Fortalezas and the Ochos of the world, this is not simple, basic earthiness to the tequila. This is extravagant, luxury, silky smooth, rich flavors, layer upon layer of rich flavors. I have a sweet, almost butterscotch taste in my mouth still from the sip. This is definitely something you sip on. This is not something you mix with something else. There's enough agave flavor in there and cooked agave, so you know you are drinking a tequila. But at the same time, that's not the defining characteristic. There's definitely a lot of other layers going on over there. The sherry cask put a very unique finish on it. A bit of a wine finish. I mentioned in the aromas, I don't get any fruit really drinking it, but I get a lot of sweet, kind of desserty flavors. But absolutely wonderful, super smooth to sip on, delicious. Smells great, tastes great. That's a beautiful sip right there. I think this might even be more appealing to someone who maybe isn't a tequila drinker. I think someone who's used to drinking bourbon or cognac might really appreciate the taste profile over here, the layered profile. Someone who appreciates high-end dark spirits, this might be an agave alternative for you. So for those that are just joining, we are live tasting this week's featured tequila of the week. It is the Clase Azul Ultra Anejo, NOM 1595. And it is produced using fully mature agave, 9-year minimum, and then after being slow cooked, roller mill crushed, distilled in copper pots. These are the juices aged 5 years in ex sherry casks. So American oak, previously used for sherry, and as a result, this rich colored, rich flavored, really enjoyable sipping tequila right there. Pretty damn delicious. I'm going to probably say this again a couple times during this hour video, but Derek, thank you for the gift. Pretty damn delicious tequila. Something I probably wouldn't have experienced without receiving it as a gift. And we'll get to that in a second. Wonderful. There's a little bit of, I just get a little bit of pepper, just enough, a little tingle on the tongue. Again, a defining characteristic of actual tequila. So while it has all these rich layered flavors, there's just enough cooked agave flavor and just enough earthiness to it to let me know I am actually drinking a tequila. But that's about where it stops. Outside of that, this really is in its own category. Almost needs to be classified as a different spirit altogether. It really isn't comparable to something that is fully agave and earthy. How does this rack up against the Fuente Seca? So again, guys, I'm getting better at reading these questions and talking about the tequila. Asking about how it racks up against the 12 and 15 year Fuente Seca and the Tears of Lorena. So very different. From what I remember from the Fuente Seca, this has a richer profile, it's a sweeter profile, it's a smoother profile. The Fuente Seca 12 and 15, which were really good, in my opinion better than the 18 and 21, was still very oaky and very oak dominant. This, however, has enough oak, but it's a sweeter tequila. I think they're both going to be rich and heavy. This one is more an end of the night, 1 or 2 type of tequila. As good as I said it is, the first time I did have this, I said to my friend Braden, who was drinking it with me, it's almost like the end of the night drink. It's so rich. I compared it to a wonderful piece of chocolate cake. It's amazing after a great dinner to have a really high-end quality dessert, but you can only have so much of it, right? After a while, it becomes counterproductive. So this is an extremely rich, you can just see from the coloring, rich, layered taste profile. And because of that, this exquisite drink, it's probably a 1 or 2 at the end of the night type of drink. So for those of you just joining us, we are live tasting this week's featured tequila of the week, Clase Azul Ultra Anejo. For those that don't know, this is the marquee product for Clase Azul. They're 5-year aged extra añejo, 5 years in sherry casks or American oak previously used for sherry. As I said, a wonderful gift from a longtime follower and supporter of the page who's actually on the live stream right now, Mr. Derek Haddad. Thank you again, sir, very much. Derek is a huge fan of this brand in particular, and just really wanted to see it tasted on this one of these Wednesday night tastings. So I wasn't complaining. As a result, I ended up with this absolutely exquisite decanter sitting on my shelf back there with the other 150 bottles of tequila. I said a few minutes ago, thank you for the experience, because I probably wouldn't have had a chance to do that without it being a gift. And the reason being, and here's the kicker, recommended retail price for this Clase Azul is $1,600. So, do you want me to say it again? You're not mishearing it. Yes. Clase Azul Ultra Añejo, 5-year aged in sherry cask, and the recommended retail price is $1,600 for this aged tequila. So, as I said in my write-up that went up on my page today, and by the way, if you could haven't yet, go take a look. I've got much better high-quality images that aren't where the lighting's a bit better, and you can get a look at the beautiful detail and artwork on this decanter, on this ceramic bottle that it comes in. So go take a look at that and like that post. But as I said in the post, it's hard to talk about the tequila. It's even hard to rate the tequila because of the price point. The bottle is an absolute work of art. For those that are just joining, this is the solid wood display case that the bottle comes in. Right here. So that is the display case that it ships and comes in right there. That closes, serves as protecting the bottle and as a display. The bottle itself, handmade ceramic, takes about 2 weeks to make. And this is where it starts getting a little bit loony. The label on the bottle is 24 karat gold. The artwork on the bottle, and you might want to take a look at the pictures that I put up to get a better look at that. But the artwork on the bottle is hand painted with real platinum onto the bottle. And then the signature agave medallion pendant on the front over there. I believe this one is it is lay 925 sterling silver. So there we go. I think that pretty much says it, right? So we have a handmade ceramic bottle painted in real platinum, sterling silver medallion on the front, and a 24 karat gold label on the back. All of this packaged up in that solid wood case. Each bottle takes about 2 weeks to complete, and because it's made by hand, no two bottles are the same. So this bottle over here is one of a kind. Everything on there, the patterns and the artwork painted on with real platinum by hand, mean that no two bottles are alike. So when we get to the price point again, it's hard to break up how much you're paying for the tequila inside and how much you're paying for the whole package overall. I don't think any juice on its own is worth $1,600. However, if I was in the position to do so, I don't think I've come across many decanters that are any better looking than this. Just absolutely wonderful. They're only produced, I believe they only make 100 a year. So this one was made in 2018 and is number bottle 35 of 100. So pretty unique. Like I said, one of a kind, one of one, hand painted, absolutely beautiful ceramic decanter. I'm holding it with two hands, unlike some of the other bottles I normally do. So there we go. $1,600, very pricey for a tequila. The tequila is delicious and absolutely wonderful to sip. It's a unbelievably luxurious, high-end sipping spirit. Is it worth $1,600? Well, art, what's the saying? An art's value or a piece of art's value is whatever someone is willing to pay for it, right? People are obviously buying these beautiful decanters, and I guess therefore it's priced perfectly. One more look, give you a look over there. Absolutely is one of the prettiest bottles and decanters I have ever come across. Can't say enough good things about it. And part of the package that comes as the Clase Azul Ultra. Everything about it, from the way the bottle's made to the way the agave is selected, is supposed to be, everything's a little over the top, a little bit, to the full extent of luxury. Another look at the tequila right there. And for those just joining, we are live tasting this week's featured tequila of the week, Clase Azul Ultra Anejo, 5 years aged in old sherry casks. $1,600 price point, which is what everyone always seems to talk about with this tequila. And reason being this wonderful piece of art that it comes with, that it comes in at least. Hand painted, handmade, painted on with real platinum, 24 karat gold label, and a sterling silver medallion on the front. All of that combined with the wood case and display case that it comes with. An absolutely beautiful display for an unbelievably enjoyable sipping tequila. So, for the newbies that are joining on, this is our Wednesday night live tasting of the week. We have a very special Clase Azul Ultra featured this week, NOM 1595, and the tequila is the marquee product for Clase Azul Tequila. 5 years aged in sherry casks. That's the good look at the tequila right there. Really dark, rich flavor, and the taste profile is no different. Very rich, layered profile. caramel, vanilla, butterscotch, molasses, cooked agave, slight hints of pepper. Can't say enough about the experience sipping on this. I think I mentioned in the post that went up earlier today, the actual unboxing experience of this tequila was an event in its own. Kind of unpacking it out of the actual box, then being presented with the wonderful wooden display case, opening it up to find this wonderful piece of art. Pretty amazing. Again, Derek, I can't say it enough. Thank you for the gift. Pretty badass. And I'll let you know that it's definitely shared with friends. I'm a big believer, if you followed the page for a long time, tequila is made to be drank. I don't believe in, I'm a bit of a car guy as well. I don't believe in collecting cars that don't get driven. I don't believe in collecting tequilas that don't get drank. So anyone who comes over, any of my friends that are over here know that pretty much anything's, anything except maybe one or two up there is fair game at any time. And I know I've had the pleasure of sharing this with a couple people already, not too many, but that's the whole point, right? Getting to experience it with other people, getting to experience it with friends. It's kind of playing it forward a little bit. I wouldn't have had a chance to taste this or own this if it wasn't for Derek. And therefore, I want to pass it on and kind of keep the tradition going. I share it with my good friends, right? No one wants to hear me talk about this shit unless they can actually know what I'm talking about. So I regularly share my tequila with my friends. When anyone comes over, I've actually started putting some samples of my really fun stuff into little 50 milliliter bottles to give to my good friends, so that when I drink a little bit and I start talking about tequila, they can start relating to what I'm actually talking about instead of just hearing me blabber on about my favorite this and my favorite that and how good this is. So for those joining, again, live tasting this week's featured tequila of the week, Clase Azul Ultra Anejo, NOM 1595. Absolutely wonderful sipping tequila. If you're a Fortaleza or an Ocho fan and that's your go-to and you're an adamant, super traditional type of tequila person, this probably isn't going to be your jam. But if you enjoy just really silky smooth, layered taste profiles, tequilas that are on the sweeter end of things, this is up there with about as good as it gets. Beautiful decanter and artwork display aside, just on its own, very, 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 very enjoyable sip. Now, unfortunately, if you have to buy this in a bar, you have to pay for the bottle a little bit in every shot that you have, right? So a restaurant or a bar that is serving the Clase Azul Ultra has to factor in the total package cost into each shot of tequila that they give you. Whereas when it's like this, at least when you finish the bottle, you still have the artwork. And this is probably the reason why a lot of you haven't had the opportunity to actually taste this. Like I said, I probably wouldn't have either. So it is a tough tequila to get your hands on. Also, they only make 100 bottles a year, which makes it a little tougher again. But there we go. Clase Azul Ultra, this week's featured tequila of the week. Absolutely exquisite, and arguably the best looking bottle that I have up on my collection over there. So about the time of the live tasting where I pay a bit more attention to the comments, and I want to see where everyone's joining from. I see a lot of familiar names. I see a few new ones. So if you guys are new to this, this is the weekly Wednesday night live tasting of the featured tequila of the week. This is simultaneously streaming to YouTube. I have no idea if anyone's even watching on there. I have almost no one subscribing on my YouTube channel, but started doing that a little while ago so that there's a record of these and that you can go back and watch them. If you missed this live video, it's up on my storyline for 24 hours on Instagram, and that's as long as they give me. So let me know where you guys are joining from. Let me know what you guys are drinking. I love seeing it. I love every Wednesday. I love seeing people joining from all over the world. Abel, what's going on? just fellow tequila lovers from all over the world, and it's pretty great to see how far the love for agave spirit stretches out, even though it's a spirit produced in a very small area. It is a spirit that is loved and shared across the globe, which is really cool. Been some of the best part of this page has been the opportunity to share my experiences and learn and share your experiences with you people from all over the globe. So, oh, there we go. Looks like I got an extra YouTube subscriber. I like it. All right, Chad's drinking una por favor. Very nice. That was last week's featured tequila of the week. Very cool. So what I thought I would do is, seems we're drinking this Clase Azul Ultra. I could think of 2 other tequilas to sip on that maybe would give a little bit of a comparison. Plus, I'm just looking for a good excuse to drink some delicious tequila on a Wednesday night. So the 2 that I have both been previously featured tequilas of the week. All right, drinking Maestro Doble. Asombroso, 11-year, extra añejo, right there. The reason I wanted to bring this one out is it's the only tequila I own that is somewhat comparable in price. So although this has come down significantly and you can find it a lot cheaper, the recommended retail originally on this was $1,200, so somewhat close to the Ultra right there. And then the other tequila I wanted to drink, another one that has been featured as a tequila of the week, Compa 1477, only released a couple months ago. I think it was tequila of the week 2 or 3 weeks ago. And although nowhere near the price range, I think there's a lot of similarities in the actual taste profiles of the tequila. Hey Kelly, what's going on? Nice of you to join. All right, Amor Mio is very, really good extra añejo as well. So, like I mentioned, this one's aged 5 years in sherry casks or American oak, previously used for sherry. The Compa is aged 5 years in barrels previously used for Napa Cab, and therefore we're going to get a lot of the rich taste profiles and flavors on that one as well. It's then aged another additional year, finished in American oak. So not quite as rich, maybe not quite as layered in the flavoring, right there. Little different, obviously Napa Cab and sherry, 2 very different types of wines. And for those of you that don't know, sherry is a wine made from white grapes, generally in the south of Spain. Okay, sipping on some Código Rosa. Derek gives his Compa stamp of approval. Tesoro number 5 Blanco. Okay, I like it. All right. So anyway, there we have the Compa. If I put it next to this week's featured tequila of the week, very similar coloring, right? So 5 years in Napa Cab barrels, 5 years in sherry barrels or sherry casks. This one another extra year in American oak, but color-wise very, very similar. You know, a lot of similar notes on the nose right there. I think maybe the Compa a little bit more agave, a little bit less caramel on the nose than that. Really good. I mean, I went through this a couple weeks ago when this was the featured tequila of the week. How is it in Flagstaff? I saw you guys had a lot of snow for the first time in a while over there. So Compa extra añejo, NOM 1477. Like I said, it's pretty unique. It's only been out for a couple months, and it's the unique thing about this brand is it's direct to consumer only. So it's only available through their website. Won't see it in a bar, won't see it at your local restaurant. If you want to get your hands on this, you actually have to go through siptequila.com. So a little different to that. Produced in slightly higher numbers though than the obviously super high-end luxury Ultra Anejo, this week's featured tequila of the week, the Clase Azul Ultra Anejo right there. Only 100 bottles a year made over there. But wonderful taste profile, very similar to the Ultra Anejo in a lot of ways. A little bit more cinnamon, a little bit more pepper on it, but also very, very rich layered taste profiles. On the sweeter side, again, something that I think would really be appreciated by someone who enjoys dark spirits as a whole, not necessarily just tequila. Wonderful aromas. Just an exquisite sipping tequila right there. I know for a fact it's my wife's favorite. I think the Clase Azul Ultra and the Compa Veda are tied. Compa Veda might edge it out just a little bit because she drinks this a bit more. I haven't let her dig into the Ultra Anejo quite as much yet. Hello, Braden. Nice of you to join us. Wow, joining from Moody Coliseum. I like it. My old stomping ground at SMU. Very cool. So thanks for joining, Braden. Wanted to mention that I actually mentioned you earlier on, and that tequila is meant to be drank. Same way cars aren't meant to sit in the garage. Tequila, it's pointless to collect it unless it gets drank. So I know last time Braden came over here, we got to crack open actually all three of these plus some. Got a chance to taste them and enjoy them. So kind of paying it forward a little bit, I only had a chance to experience this $1,600 bottle of Clase Azul Ultra because it was gifted to me. And understand what the experience is all about and go from there. So Compa Veda Extra Añejo, comparable in the way of taste profile. Wonderful sipping tequila, obviously at $175, maybe a little bit more accessible than the super limited high-end tequila right there. There is no gold or platinum or silver on this bottle though, although it is still very pretty to look at. The other one that I pulled out over here to compare to the featured tequila of the week, the Clase Azul Ultra, is the $1,200 bottle of Asombroso 11 year. So this one is one of my personal favorites. If you talk about kind of high-end luxury, luxurious sipping tequilas, this one's hard to beat for me. Obviously, aged 11 years, it's going to be it's tough to really compare it accurately to the Clase Azul. It's aged more than twice the amount, but similar production techniques used for this, in that the agave has to be a minimum of 8 or 9 years old. Extra mature agave, immediately that's going to bring a sweeter taste profile. I'm reading some questions as well. I'm based in Dallas, so here we are in my office at home. That's my tequila back there. If you're on YouTube and you have a slightly wider angle, maybe you can see a bit more of it. It's phenomenal that I actually get any work at all done in this office. And for those that are new to this, this is our every Wednesday night, 8:30 Central, live tasting tequila and chatting tequila. So we are live tasting the featured tequila of the week, which is the Clase Azul Ultra, NOM 1595. This super high-end luxury tequila was gifted to me, and is an absolute, is a really enjoyable sipping tequila. The real talking point is this beautiful work of art that is the decanter that it comes in. It is handmade, no two are the same, hand painted, 24 karat gold label. The artwork on it is hand painted with liquid platinum, and then that medallion on the front over there is sterling silver. So each bottle takes 2 weeks to make. No two bottles are the same. So your price point of this tequila has to factor in the fact that you are getting this piece of art at the same time. So put that one back there. This is the featured tequila of the week. We drank a few others that are comparable in production methods, taste profiles, Right now we have the Asombroso 11-year Extra Añejo in my glass. The Asombroso right there, originally, although cheaper now, was priced at $1,200, so comparable in that it's super high end, very, very tough to get your hands on. No gold or platinum on this bottle, but this is also a very unique decanter. It's hand-blown glass, hand-blown by a glass blower in Jalisco, so local. Also a beautiful bottle to have up on display over there. I don't think I could say it beats out this one, but still something enjoyable to look at. I don't know of any tequilas that get into even close to that price point just based on the juice that's inside. When you're getting into those high-end luxury tequilas, like I mentioned in my post earlier today, you're kind of paying for the whole experience and the total package. It's the experience of receiving the gift or receiving your tequila when you get it, the unboxing process, the bottle that it's in, the artwork that it's surrounded by it. Just everything plays together, and then you have to have a super smooth, silky, delicious tequila to match the whole package that comes with it. So the Asombroso right there is a little lighter. The French oak over there was not previously used for anything else, so lightly charred. You're not going to get any of the wine affecting the finish on the tequila. I mean, for the sake of this video, I'm not going to pick a favorite, but the Asombroso is extremely, extremely enjoyable to drink. 11 years aged, super light, agave, oak, little bit of vanilla, almost a whipped cream finish to it. Delicious. Really, really good. Like I said, brought it up just because the price point, or the original price point, is comparable. As far as the actual decanter goes, though, this one takes the cake over and over again. Don't think you can get much better than this. Just absolutely beautiful work of art, handmade decanter right there. And for those joining, it's this week's featured tequila of the week, the Clase Azul Ultra Anejo, their marquee product or expression on their line. Their Ultra Añejos aged 5 years in former sherry casks, and that's a look right there. So as a result, rich aromas, a lot of oak, vanilla, caramel, butterscotch. I even get a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of a sweeter to the nose aroma right there. And then just wonderful taste profile. Rich layered flavors. If you go back and watch this video or watch it on YouTube, talk about it in a bit more detail, but you've got oak, vanilla, caramel, molasses, sweet, silky smooth layered profile with just enough cooked agave and just enough little bit of pepper to remind you that it is a tequila. And then super smooth finish, but almost leaves that sweet kind of aftertaste, semi-sweet aftertaste on your mouth for a little bit longer than usual. I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it's a really rich, bold flavored, sweet tequila. Absolutely delicious, but something that could only be really a 1 or 2 at the end of the night type of drink for me. If I'm going to be having more than that, I feel like this almost becomes a little bit overwhelming. It's almost like a really high-end quality dessert. So I have been reading some of the questions, even though I haven't been addressing them. National Taco Championships. This is a lot richer, bolder, stronger aromas, stronger flavors, more oaky than the Reposado. I think another question you had was, what is my recommendations under $40? Like Grant said over there, it's under 40. There's a lot of them. when I talk about my good, inexpensive tequilas, I like to talk about the ones that are under 25 bucks. So under 25 bucks. And it's funny talking about those tequilas on a night that we're featuring a $1,600 bottle of extra añejo. But under 25 bucks, my recommendations are normally, I would go with, not in this order, Espolòn, Reposado, El Velo Blanco, which is a relatively new one that is over my shoulder right there. El Velo Blanco that just got released. And then Los Altos Reposado, all of those under 25 bucks, around 25 bucks. Can't get much better than that. Don Julio Silver is under 40, I agree, but you know, for under 40 you can get the, you know, or around 40 bucks you can get El Tesoro Blanco. Shit, for 45 bucks you can get El Tesoro Repo, and for 50 you can get the El Tesoro Añejo. So it's pretty hard to beat those three right there as far as quality for money tequilas. A little harder to find good ones under 25 bucks. Very hard to find any in the price point of this one right here at $1,600 for the Clase Azul Ultra. But an absolutely wonderful overall package. Can't say enough good things about it. It's definitely a head turner on my shelf back there. 150 bottles plus of tequila in my office at home. And when I, you know, most people walk in, they ask about that one right there. So again, this week's featured tequila of the week, pretty special one right here. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to enjoy this tequila just because of where it's priced. So again, very generous gift, Mr. Haddad. Thank you very much. Appreciate the continued support of the page. And I hope I did your favorite tequila justice tonight by sipping it. So there it is. If you haven't already, go take a look at my post that went up today. I have detailed photos, better quality images of this beautiful hand-painted decanter, and then a slightly more detailed write-up of the tequila of the week. This video is going on YouTube as well, so finally we'll have stuff on YouTube as a library per se. This is episode 16. I think the first 5 or so I never did a live tasting, so it's pretty crazy to think that we're already in double digits for these live tastings, which is pretty cool. You know what? You're free. Absolutely. You buy a plane ticket to Dallas, I'll definitely pour you one of these if that's going to make it worth your while. Honestly, if you get a cheap plane ticket and you fly over here and you drink this and fly home, it might still be cheaper than buying this in a bar, depending on where you live in the country. So, Grant, offer is open if you're ever rolling through Dallas. So what do we got everyone saying? Where is everyone joining from? What's everyone drinking? Who's got some questions? They don't have to be tequila questions. Any questions at all? We've had some of these live videos on Wednesday nights. They're not really planned, so there's really no structure to them and no planning. 150 bucks a shot in California. So yeah, you might be able to find a flight cheaper than that. That could work. I don't know. Is there what's the closest airport to Santa Maria, Abel? Where do you fly out of? Sacramento? Or am I completely lost? Santa Barbara have an airport? Yeah, I agree. 150 is a really good deal. You know, if depending on where you are, I know in Vegas there were some tequilas that were a lot cheaper than this. This was about 700 bucks a shot at Javier's in the Aria in Las Vegas. But then again, everything at that place is extremely exaggerated. What's your story on the passion for tequila? Ooh, I don't think we have enough time for that. We're gonna go about 15 minutes left over here. Instagram Live cuts me off at an hour, which is probably a good thing because you guys don't want to hear me blabber on for more than an hour. Oh, very good. Joining us from Boston. Salute. Absolutely. Glad you could join us. I will be in Boston in about a month. I am, little brother is running the Boston Marathon, not me. That's way too much exercise for me. But little brother's really got into his running of late. There we go, paid 150. Santa Maria does have a small airport. Well, good. So there's somewhere that I can fly in and find you, Abel, if my package doesn't show up tomorrow in one piece. Good stuff. Cool. Well, hey, if you guys are new on here, I'll do a little recap so we don't get run up against time. That was our live tasting of this week's featured tequila of the week. This is the Clase Azul Ultra, produced at Casa Tradicion, NOM 1595. Hand-picked agave, only fully mature, 9-year aged, is then slow cooked in brick ovens for 72 hours, roller mill crushed, distilled in copper pots. There's a few unique techniques they use on the fermentation before distillation, but ultimately the juice then goes into former sherry casks for 5 years, and as a result we have this really rich, dark colored extra añejo, wonderful sipping tequila. It was a wonderful gift from my friend and longtime follower of this page, Mr. Derek Haddad. So thank you again. He was very keen. His favorite tequila right here, and he was very keen to see it spoken about on a Wednesday tasting. So here we have it. I'm not going to complain. I got this amazing gift that now sits back up there with my other 150 bottles of tequila, and is definitely a head turner wherever I go, or whoever comes over here. Dark, rich colored tequila. The aromas, sweet, very sweet oak, vanilla, caramel, butterscotch. Very full-bodied, rich aromas coming out of there. And then taste-wise, you're getting a similar taste profile, layered taste profile. A cooked agave, just enough a cooked agave and pepper to keep it a tequila. But outside of that, it's a lot of vanilla, oak, caramel, butterscotch, molasses, sweet finish, ultra smooth, the entire experience, ultra silky sipping spirit. Just absolutely wonderful over there. Can't say enough good things about it. Not a tequila a lot of people are going to be able to get their hands on. But it is an absolute pretty cool to go get the experience to actually have tasted this. Even cooler to have it back on my shelf back there. So thank you again, Derek. We sipped on a few other things tonight. Asombroso 11 year, and then Compoveda, which was both of which have been tequilas of the week the last couple of weeks. Similar rich taste profiles. Purely on taste wise though, the Clase Azul is pretty much on its own, very unique, doesn't taste like anything else I've really ever had. And then the whole package, the display, the artwork, this unbelievable decanter with platinum painted on it, 24 karat gold label and a solid silver medallion on it. Handmade, 2 weeks to make, all of that together really does make this kind of one of a kind. Hard to rate the tequila just because of the price point. I think my rating that went up on Tequila Match was about 84 out of 100. The only reason for that is that on there I rate the juice alone, and unfortunately value for money is a huge part of that rating process. So if you take that out, it got 84 out of 90, which is a pretty damn good score. So there we have it. Featured tequila of the week. I have not actually gone through the YouTube video to watch the production process, but I'll go check that out for sure. Outside of that, guys, thank you for joining. If anyone's got any questions or wants to share what they're drinking, happy to share and happy to answer what I can. This video goes up on my channel on the storyline for the next 24 hours. So what I'll do is, it's really hard to talk, pay attention to what I'm saying and making sure I'm not talking crap, and read your questions and address them. So what I'll do is I'll go back and scroll through it, and if someone asked a question on here that I didn't get to, I'll make sure to try DM you and try and answer as much as I can. So if I missed your questions during this tasting, don't worry, I'll get to them. If you are just tuning in and you missed this hour live tasting of the featured tequila of the week, it will be up on YouTube. It's currently streaming to YouTube Live, but you can go on my YouTube channel. I believe the link is in my bio. And as of this week, hopefully we got it right this week, these videos will go up and you can easily access them to go back and look at the tequilas of the week and see the discussion that we went through. So I guess that's about it. Don't have a lot more to go on. Favorite resources, videos on educating yourself about tequila. I don't really know. Talking to people, I generally ask if I have a question about a certain tequila. I ask the people that make it. I've had this page for almost 3 years now, so you can imagine it gets to a point where I have some really good relationships with a lot of the brands, and I'm lucky enough to be able to shoot texts or DMs to a lot of people at different brands if I have a question about the tequila or the production method. The couple times I've been down to Jalisco definitely helped. And I have some trips planned later on this year to some really cool distilleries, so I'm really looking forward to that. And you're just constantly learning. I would be careful. Educating yourself through social media. Through, a lot of people will promote anything they get paid to promote. I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I'm in the lucky position where tequila is my passion. It's my hobby. It's not my livelihood. It's not my living. So because of that, I get to promote stuff that I like. I don't get told by someone writing me a check what I get to promote and what I have to say and what I don't. So be wary of social media as a means to education. There's some really cool books out there. Tequila Ambassador, which I have on my shelf back there, is a phenomenal book. And then there's some really good written articles about production of tequila and whatnot. But it's always a learning process. You never know everything. There's always people that know a lot more than me. So it's a hobby. It's something I'm passionate about, and something that I'm always learning about and always learning more. And hopefully through this page, more and more of you are educated on tequila, tequila production. And I really do love when I feature a tequila of the week, although with this one, I have a feeling this might not happen as much. I love featuring a tequila of the week, and I love then getting DMs over the next week where people go out and buy my tequila of the week, and then give me their opinion or say thank you or tell me how much they liked it or tell me why they didn't like it. With this bottle, I think that might not happen very often over the next week. If it does, I'll make sure to let everyone know about it. This is something pretty unique, very hard to get your hands on. Like I said, for Mr. Derek Haddad, his favorite tequila, I said I would feature it. I hope I did it justice. He could probably tell you more about this tequila than I can. More about the production and the method used to create this beautiful artwork that it comes in. But there we have it. That's the featured tequila of the week. Clase Azul Ultra Anejo NOM 1595. Wonderful sipping tequila. Rich, bold taste profile. Dark, rich coloring. Can't say, just an absolutely beautiful entire package. Can't say enough good things about it. So there we go. Grandpa, I love it. I love hearing when tequila has not been something that's been in my family. In fact, my parents weren't drinkers at all. I have a story about how a South African Australian living in Dallas ended up being passionate about tequila and having a page completely dedicated to the tequila spirits. But I guess that might be a live video for next week. So if you are on next week, try get on earlier on when we have a little bit more time, because there's only 5 minutes left, and see if we can ask the same question, and I'll see if I can address it. So next week, next Wednesday night, I have a really fun tequila as a live tasting. Next week's featured tequila of the week is arguably one of the best I've ever had. So I'm looking forward to tasting that one as well, sharing my experience with you guys. And I promise you, Esteban's mommy, whatever your real name is, I will address that question next week in the tasting. I'll let you guys know how a South African ended up with a tequila page. So all good. Guys, for everyone that's joined, if you're a regular, thank you. I appreciate the love. Please go like my post today. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks for joining. If you are new, this happens every Wednesday night. This week's featured tequila of the week, Iris. I will make sure I get that story out next week during the tasting. We have our featured tequila of the week, Clase Azul Ultra Anejo NOM 1595. There we go. Go back and watch the video. It'll be on my storyline for the next 24 hours. It'll be on YouTube for good. And the pictures that went up today on the actual post will give you a better idea of this beautiful handmade bottle it is over here. Outside of that, I am going to put this back in its wonderful wooden display case that it comes in. Right there. Lock that up safe. There we go. And again, I really appreciate the love. I hope you guys, I hope that was useful. I hope I gave you a little bit of insight into that wonderful tequila. Join me next week. Iris, I will address that question. I have a really, really tasty one next week. Something cool to sip on, so join in for that. There we go. Episode 16 in the books. Can't believe this is still rolling, but love you guys. Thanks for joining. Until next week, keep wandering and drink Mexican.